And welcome back everyone to a new video. I'm still in Vaikanse for the Tata Steel chess tournament as a second, but I wanted to make this video today to speak about something else, which is the current developments of Chess960, or as it is also called, Fischer Random Chess, or the more recent name, Freestyle Chess, which I'm not such a big fan of, but we'll get to that later. So yeah, there have been quite some developments recently with FIDE making certain statements, also the Freestyle Chess Players Association making like some sort of statements. So I thought it would be interesting to kind of talk about it. And honestly, I have to say for myself that I never really made like some research, at least some proper research on Chess960. So I thought it would also be interesting for myself kind of to just get to know a bit more about Chess960 in general. So the first thing I want to speak about is the history of Chess960 in general, because to understand the current developments, I think it's important also to know something about how Chess960 actually started off. So what I didn't know was that actually it was firstly announced, or kind of someone had the idea already in 1792. It was the person Philip Julius van Zeilen van Nijeveld. I hope I pronounced it correctly. I think it was a Dutch chess player. It was announced in 1792 in some local newspaper. And but then once he suggested it, the idea, and then when Fischer announced it, I think, at least from my knowledge or from my research, I couldn't find any like real mentions between that and when Fischer announced it, which was 1992 when he started to work on the whole idea, and then 1996 was when Bobby Fischer first announced kind of the idea to the public, where he was just saying how he feels about it. And I saw this one kind of like quote, I think it was from a radio interview from 1999, and I found it quite interesting what Fischer said about Chess960, because I think it's often portrayed a bit incorrectly on what he thought about it. So he said, "I love chess, and I didn't invent Fischer Random Chess to destroy chess. I invented Fischer Random Chess to keep chess going, because I consider that all chess is dying. It really is that. A lot of people come up with other rules of chess type games with 10x8 boards, new pieces and all kinds of things. I'm really not interested in that. I want to keep the old chess flavor. I want to keep the old chess game, but just making a change so the starting positions are mixed, so it's not degenerated down to memorization and prearrangement like it is today." So that's what Fischer said in 1999, and he kind of made a pretty good point with some of those things, because I mean back then it was even less worse, I would say. I mean, computers were just in the beginning age, but nowadays it's really a lot about memorization. And yeah, there are many people that are not a fan of that, also including myself. Of course, there's also some sort of beauty involved when you can find some very interesting opening ideas with the help of the computers. But overall, opening ideas nowadays are quite desperate. Like with white, you're just trying to get some playable position, which is not like a forced draw. And yeah, with black, if you basically follow the main lines, and if white is playing the main lines, you just press the spacebar until the end, basically, and then it's just a draw. So that's just how it is nowadays. We also saw in the World Championship match between Gukesh and Ding that both players had to come up just with very non-standard ideas with the white pieces, just to get a playable position and to be able to surprise the opponent. So yeah, that's how kind of everything started, with Fischer making these remarks on how chess is dying. And yeah, back then I don't think it was that much of a problem, but now with computers getting stronger and stronger, it is becoming more and more of a problem. And then what I learned next was when I really went down kind of the rabbit hole on the development of World Championships of Chess960, because that's kind of what the whole debate is about. I saw that already from 2001 to 2009, there was the Mainz Chess Classic. So there was a German sponsor who organized a yearly Chess960 kind of unofficial World Championships. I think it was in a knockout format, and yeah, it grew in popularity very quickly. And they had some certain, they had a certain idea of how things should be done exactly, and I think there were a couple which I wrote down here. So Chess960 should not contain part of the name of any grandmaster. So that's why they kind of shifted from Fischer Random to Chess960. That's how I understood it, that was kind of the first start of the shift to the name Chess960. It should not include negatively biased or spongy elements such as random or freestyle and so on. So that's also why Fischer Random, I guess, was the Fischer Random name was kind of left behind, and they used the term Chess960. Should be universally understood. That's also kind of the thing which they wanted to implement. The effort culminated in the name choice Chess960, derived from the number of different possible starting positions. So yeah, Chess960 is kind of the birth of the name, kind of originated from that event. One theory which I also might have is just because Fischer was quite a controversial figure, making some some statements which were generally not very nice in many regards about certain groups and or about certain people in general. So I think that might also have to do why he was why his name was removed from that certain chess variant. What I also then went to was the tournament history in general. So there were a couple of tournaments, like big tournaments involving the top players. It kind of all started with the St. Louis Chess Club. They began hosting these events in St. Louis. They called it Chess9LX. For some reason, don't ask me why. So yeah, all of these names, I think we should just at some point pick one. Now currently it's called Freestyle Chess. I think it should just be called Fischer Random or Chess960. Like as I said, like Freestyle Chess. Somehow it just sounds wrong to me because Chess960 is, I don't know. I've just gotten used to it, but Freestyle Chess just doesn't sound right to me. I don't know how to put it. Tournament history after that. So it all started with the tournament in Mainz. Then later on we had the St. Louis Chess Club who began hosting that. And the first unofficial World Championship match actually was in 2018 between Magnus and Hikaru, which Magnus won with a score of 14-10. That was in Norway with like a private sponsor. So that was unofficial, and the first FIDE World Championship in Chess960 was 2019, so that's when it started. And there Wesley So won, and then after that the next one was 2022, where Nakamura won. By the way, there's a funny story there, which I saw, which also kind of goes back to a point from earlier, that the rules should universally be understood, because in that World Championship in 2022, Wesley So actually lost one game because he blundered, because he thought he could castle out of a check for some reason. But that's one thing which honestly is kind of a concern for me for Chess960 in general. Like, I have to be honest, even myself, I never really looked at the rules. I think I could castle in Chess960, but honestly, me myself, I'm not even sure if I could castle correctly in Chess960. So it's still a bit hard, at least maybe my brain is just too small for that to grasp the concept. But I still feel like it's all a bit confusing, even for grandmasters. But yeah, Nakamura won that event in 2022, and in 2024 the event was cancelled by FIDE. So how that happened: in August 2023, FIDE called for the bids for a 2024 Fischer Random Chess Championship to be held in February 2024. But the event never took place, I think because simply there were no bids involved there. So no organizer wanted to simply hold the event. And that kind of brings us to the whole culmination of the current events. So for those of you who might have missed it, I think last year in February, the first kind of big Chess960 event took place in Germany. And there's like a big sponsor, Jan Büttner, who put this event together. And many strong players participated there, one of them being Magnus Carlsen. And that's where it all started. And then a couple of months later, as far as I understood it, it kind of sounded like the the chess association of the Freestyle Chess Players Association, I think that's the full name, kind of already made hints that they are kind of splitting and making like a big new organization themselves. And I think that's when FIDE kind of started to look a bit closer to it. And at some point there were like some, I think it was even a letter by the Freestyle Chess Players Association, which kind of hinted that they want to hold like their own World Championship match. And of course, that's when FIDE now recently made like a big statement for what do they want to implement. And that's kind of where some controversy sparked. So I just summarized the FIDE statement on the Freestyle Chess project a little bit. So just to give you a brief overview on what they said. So they wrote that FIDE is the only official organization that governs chess worldwide and controls all world championship titles. While FIDE welcomes private chess projects like the Freestyle Chess Players Club, it does not accept FCPC calling its events a world championship. This goes against FIDE's authority and risks causing divisions in the chess community. So yeah, that's kind of already what we saw with Kasparov's organization back in the early 2000s, that a certain group is not really happy with FIDE's efforts and they want to make their own organization, and then probably, or in many cases also hosting their own world championship. And of course, that's not what the governing world body wants, because they want to be the only one to hold the world championship, obviously, because having numerous world championships just it also kind of demolishes their authority. So yeah, that kind of makes sense. I think in that regard it's a bit different since it's Chess960 also, and I think also what's kind of my impression is that maybe FIDE just disregarded Chess960 a bit for quite some time, and now all of a sudden, I mean, as we saw, like there was no World Championship match in 2024 organized by FIDE. If they would have organized the event, then probably we wouldn't even be here. And so I think they just neglected that a little bit. And as we see, there are many players who want to play more Chess960. So that brought us in the situation we are currently in. So the article continues. Again, this is just a summary with my own words. To help players plan, FIDE has added the 2025 Freestyle Chess Series to its schedule and won't stop players from joining. However, FIDE will take legal action if any event claims to be a world championship without its approval. So yeah, that's also what I saw when they announced the events. They were very careful not that it clashes with any of the freestyle chess events, so that players don't have to choose, at least yet, if they want to participate in freestyle chess or in some classical major FIDE events. Yeah, when it comes to the legal part, I have no idea if some of you are lawyers watching that. It would be very interesting for me to hear how these things are handled legally. Like, if some organization tries to make a world championship match, can FIDE legally go after them? Like, I would be very interested to know that. So if some of you have some insights there, please let me know in the comments down below. That would be very interesting. So yeah, players in FIDE's 2025 to 2026 World Championship cycle must agree not to join other World Championship events not approved by FIDE except for the 2025 Freestyle Series. FIDE promises high-quality events with better prize money, and it's open to discussions with FCPC as long as its authority over world title is as long as its authority over world titles is respected. So yeah, that brings us, I think, to the last thing, which is that FIDE kind of made a warning already with that letter, and but for this year they are still going along with it. So that's what they said. For this year, everyone can decide basically whatever they want to do. They can play both events, but from next year onwards, it's going to be a bit different, at least if I understood it correctly. So from next year on, they will make players sign a contract that if they will participate in the FIDE World Championship cycle, they're not allowed to participate in these freestyle events, at least if I understood that correctly. So now, what's my opinion on all of this? Yeah, of course, it's a very unfortunate situation. I would love that there's just a normal relationship between the classical chess and Chess960, and it would be great if it would all be in one organization, because as we see now, if there are two major organizations involved, it's just there's way much more room for conflict basically. Yeah, the other thing is kind of the problem I see with the FCPA. Is it FCPA? Freestyle Chess Players Association. Yeah, it's FCPA. The problem I see with it is that the tour is very narrow so far. Like only a very select number of players are invited. I think currently it's like 10 players participating in the tour. And in general, I think it's like 25 players only being in the group. So it's like for players from 27, 20 plus. Of course, it's that's what the world wants to see. They want to see the best compete against each other. But it's kind of similar, I would guess, to the Grand Chess Tour as well, where also only like 15 players or something like that participate per year. But the problem I see with that, at least for now, is that I don't see many players joining the FCPA, at least like from next year onwards. Let's say FIDE makes people sign a contract that they have to decide either we participate in the World Championship cycle, so play a number of events which are very important to many people, like the FIDE Grand Swiss, for example, where 2,600 players can participate in, 2,600 plus, or they participate in the freestyle. So if like an ex-player with, let's say, 2650 rating has to decide, I think everyone would go for the classical chess, because anyway, I don't see where they could play for the freestyle. I mean, there are some invitational, like some qualification tournaments, but you need to qualify for these freestyle events. I think there are one or two qualification spots for that. So yeah, I just currently don't see how it is how it is valuable for the most grandmasters. Of course, for like 2750 plus grandmasters, it's kind of a different story. But for the most amount of chess professionals, I think there's currently not really a lot of reasoning behind changing to freestyle chess, because still for them, most likely there's more money in the classical chess, at least in the World Championship cycle. Yeah, I think that's what I wanted to say about this one. Also, one thing I thought about, especially if you look at like the young talents like Pragnananda, Erigaisi, Abdus Satorov, all of these players, Gukesh, of course, they will not change to the Freestyle Chess Players Association, in my opinion, because all of them have the main goal to become the classical world champion. I'm quite sure. I don't think that they would, of course, they would also like to become Chess960 World Champion, but I think their main goal is to become classical world champion. And I think that the Freestyle Chess Players Association is just going to miss out on those young and very promising, very strong players that most chess viewers want to see compete. So that's also another problem I see with that. I think that Magnus, for example, like he won the World Championship numerous times enough. He's not really interested, as he said, in competing in the World Championship cycle anymore. So for him, of course, it's fantastic. Yeah, he can try out something else, take on another challenge. Maybe also for some other people, like I don't know if, for example, Hikaru Nakamura is. I guess he's still interested in competing for the World Championship cycle, but there are just some players that maybe are not interested anymore in competing for that. I think Magnus is the perfect example, but perhaps there are other players as well in that group. But yeah, I think these are all of my thoughts for that. As I said, I would love to see like some sort of harmonious relationship between those two organizations. But if I'm completely honest, my current feeling is that it's not gonna end that peacefully, but that's just my feeling. And yeah, we'll see how it turns out. I would really appreciate you guys telling me in the comments just what you think about all of this, because Chess960 is a very exciting format, and especially as I said earlier, it's quite an issue nowadays with computer preparation. There's simply all of the openings have been basically analyzed until the end, and it would open quite a new of like quite a lot of new doors to chess in general, and might make it more interesting. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments down below. I hope you enjoyed the video today, and yeah, if you did, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and otherwise I will see you in the following days. So take care, guys.